This is MediaBistro.com's Media Beat. We're here with Baratunde Thurston, web and politics editor at The Onion, comedian, lots of other things that you do, which we're going to talk about in this segment.
Great.
And first, I just wanted to ask you about your show on the Science Channel, Future Of.
Yeah, Popular Science's Future Of.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Science is owned by Discovery, so it's part of the big Discovery network. And the show, there were 10 episodes, Future of Combat, Future of Play, Future of Sex, looking at how we might be living in 10 to 20 years, given where science and tech research and development are today.
And you also have a book coming out as well sometime in the future with a title that I'm sure will get some attention, How to Be Black.
How to Be Black, yeah.
So the title, I mean, does the title say it all, or what do you want to...
It pretty much does. Like, you know, subtitles have become a huge industry where you have the title of your book is like, book. And then the subtitles is like some expanded treatise on like what your book is about. So I wanted this title to really communicate most, if not all, of what the book is about. So it's a satirical race manual. And, you know, black people are kind of back. We have a half-black president, but we still have these old notions that there is a particular way to be black. So I'm going to explore that through a how-to manual, how to speak for all black people, which we're often called to do, how to celebrate Black History Month, even if you're not black, you want to sort of participate and enjoy, but not be called racist. It's a very delicate minefield, this race business. So I want to blow up some things in it.
Interesting. And you have, for lack of a better term, a somewhat large following online. And I guess, that would help some of these other projects that you're doing. And how did you build that following out, sort of, coming from an environment like The Onion that sort of by nature downplays the individuality of its best talents? Yeah,
that was one of the strange things about when I started working there. I already had a semi-public profile. Like, I had done cable news spots. I had a bunch of self-published books. Okay. And so it was going to be very interesting for me being there, not having that kind of profile and just sort of joining a team. And it's been good. It's always good for your ego to like subjugate it to a larger cause in some sense, like not in that scary Gestapo way, but just in terms of contributing to a whole that's kind of bigger than some of its parts. But over time, now that I've got this online stuff going there, it all feeds itself. So like my own comedy benefits just from being around super funny people at The Onion. I get to test out some of the technology and social media ideas I have at a relatively large news organization, fake though it may be. And, the stuff I learn out in the tech world, I'm able to bring in to my world at The Onion and see if we can, like, kill it there. So I don't see much of a conflict. It's actually pretty complementary.
And what advice would you give to others sort of saying, hey, I want to be doing this. I'm a writer, or I have one thing going on, but I'd love to, branch out into other, sort of like you said, they all sort of feed off each other.
I've been this way since I was very tiny. I've never been able to pick just one thing to do, so I won't say this is for everybody. But given the way the quote-unquote economy is, and it's not really a real economy, we make YouTube videos mostly, but given the way the economy is and there's no job security, having more than one skill, existing in more than one sphere, is just a reasonable decision of investment for your time and your talents. In my case, I was working when I was in Boston, for example, in consulting, to media companies, to telecommunications companies, and on the side I started doing stand-up. I started doing open mics, I took a class, and as I traveled for work, I'd find open mics in the town I was visiting and get on stage there to feel out what this region of the country was like, and over time I started getting better at the side thing, and the main thing just became a financing arm of my quote-unquote side thing. So over time I managed to avoid the super starving artist path. I starved a little bit, but not as much as if I were just like, I'm going to do comedy and nothing else. Like, that wasn't for me.
You weren't a musician. So,
no, no, I wasn't. So, but for some people, they need that focus, and that's the one thing they do. For me, it made a lot more sense to do this high-wire balancing act of multiple interests and kind of have each one feed the other.
And do you measure all this? Everyone's talking about social media measurement and how to.
People are talking about that.
People in the marketing. It's
going to ruin
PR,
my game.
Yeah. I mean, do you look at? Obviously, track yourself.
Twitter is kind of my primary gauge, based on how people retweet what I say, how people react, what they're upset about, and that's enough. Because if I get into the business of kind of SEOing my own material and thus my soul, that's a path toward darkness. I think then I'm not me. I'm just the reflection of what other people want me to be.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I want to keep talking about this measurement for one moment, because the problem with over measuring is that we have a lot of data in this new world of social media, but it doesn't mean anything. What does it mean to have this % click-through rates on a tweet, or these many followers, or these many, shares and likes on Facebook? great. You have mountains and mountains of data that have no humanity to them. And so part of the beauty of social media is that it's social and that it's human and that it's interactive. And in some ways, that should be enough to know that you're part of a conversation, to know that you're connecting to other human beings in a hopefully more authentic way. And so over measuring that, I think, dehumanizes the process and reduces it to bits and numbers. And that's not fun. That's very mechanical and very abstract and a little too technical for my taste.
Well, we're going to talk some more about some general media trends
Great.
in part 3. Baratunde Thurston, web and politics editor at The Onion, comedian, lots of other things. This is MediaBistro.com.